Hi there, it's Martin from Supermania, Cape Wonder Europe, and I just wanted to share with you this little thing that I've just put together. Um, I, the jacket itself is not new. I've shown that off a couple of times. I can't help myself. It's one of my favorite things that I've got in the collection. But recently I have discovered some really excellent provenance that shows it off, or at least establishes exactly where it was used. This, in case you didn't know, is Mark Stewart's bomber jacket, the crew jacket from Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. And as we can see, it is labeled stunt double right here. And this is the jacket that Mark, being Chris's flying double, wore throughout the production. And the new photos kindly supplied to us by David Waterman, our very new best friend David Waterman from Superman 4 itself, the guy that played the hot dog vendor, has given us a brand new insight into this, because it was worn outside Milton Keynes train station. And I distinctly remember years ago when I was a kid watching it, because it was big news, When Superman came to town, or Milton Keynes specifically, when Superman came to town, it was a very big deal and it made national news. But I remember being confused when I saw this guy on the wires being flown over the top of the train station. And it wasn't Chris, it was some guy in a black jacket, and lo and behold, this would be that jacket. And so I thought it might be fun, having seen these shots, to kind of reproduce the whole outfit from top to bottom. Because I discovered I have all the components, save for the shoes, which were black Puma old school trainers, by the way. Mark would stand by and perform the stunt first, to show Chris exactly what the expectation was. And so he would be hooked up in his casual clothes. The harness would go over his middle here, and he would wear the jacket, and then the cape would be attached over the top. And then he would be flown. So it's quite a bizarre sight. But, there's lots of evidence to support this. But right up until recently, I didn't know that this jacket featured so prominently. So if you can see around here, I'll take you around. Marks is quite distinguished for having stunt team with the Superman S on the shoulder. There were 3 different kinds of crew jackets, actually 4, although one of them was for Van der Veer photo effects, which I've only discovered recently, and that's a kind of a different thing. But these shiny nylon jackets came in 3 different colors. The black was for, I guess, the prominent personnel, like the stunt doubles. The other guys got the navy blue ones, another one of which I've got. And there's a bright red one too, which were made in children's sizes, I believe, as well. So I've been trying to speak to Mr. Stewart now for some time, and I really hope to do so one day. I hope he sees this and, gets a kick out of seeing somebody going to the trouble of recreating what he wore nearly 40 years ago. I mean, what kind of, that's obsessive, isn't it? But when I think about it. But anyway, here we are, we're having fun. But I'm absolutely sure that he remembers all of this very well. And if you haven't seen him, if you haven't seen Mark, because, you would only catch fleeting glimpses of him. I mean, the whole point of it is that you think that he's Chris. But, I mean, Mark had quite the career. He was in Tron, he was in Spies Like Us, he was in quite a few things. But if you want to get a good glimpse of him, if you watch the making of Superman 3, when Chris approaches this poor guy that's strapped into this kind of gimbal thing, and Chris takes one look at it and goes, "That's useless." That's poor Mark strapped up into that. He kind of pulls this kind of sad face, as if to say, "Gosh, they've spent 2 hours strapping me into this thing," and Chris has just walked past and gone, "Nope," and that was that. So that's Mark. And the other places you can see him featuring in Superman 4 especially are the Great Wall of China. He does that big flyby. I love that shot, that live flying shot. And the shot where Superman lands at Luthor's lair and does the old switcheroo. Chris is waiting outside. Mark does the landing. Chris runs in. This sweater in particular, it's such a distinctive blue. And I thought, I'm sure I've got one of those. And if we look, it is in fact another piece of crew apparel. This navy blue sweatshirt that was issued to all of the crew as well. So he's wearing that, and he's got an undershirt underneath that. So, yeah, it was very exciting for me to kind of see what he was wearing and think, gosh, I've got all of that. And just to show you around the back, this is a replica cape, but this is exactly how it would have been at the time. Obviously it would have been flying cape, so slits would have been here, harness would have gone round Mark's waist there, and off he would go. And this only became available to me, I think Mark decided to let a lot of stuff go a few years ago, moved it through Prop Store. I was lucky enough to get it much later, but I just thought how fascinating to to put the whole thing together and see what it would look like, exactly how it looked like, I should say, when it was in use back in the day. And so hopefully you get a kick out of this. It's made me smile, but this is just the kind of thing that I love to do, just to go back in time and recreate some stuff. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your support with Restore Superman 4. It's an ongoing thing. It's becoming a huge thing, actually. So, but more about that later. This is just something that I thought would be nice in support of it. So, and after the last video, which, I mean, you don't get stuff like that happening a lot. So we're back to our regularly scheduled programming, if you like. So I hope you enjoyed it.